Good morning, Crow Girl. Interesting. Oh, I'm thinking shoulders today. Maybe working on shoulder flexibility and strength. I'm not teaching Latin. Good morning, JT Goalie. There it goes. Good morning, Fashion Theory. How are you guys? You feeling alright? This weather has got me all kinds of ugh. Also, anybody else's allergies going crazy? Plants are starting to get happy and it's, oh God, my eyeballs itch. If you've got yourselves all set up, you can find a comfortable seated position. Get those last sips of coffee in for a little while. Oh, God. I woke up this morning and I felt like there were like blocks of wood in my eyes. Oh, but it was just allergies because allergies suck. Oh man. So yeah, I'm thinking working on stretching shoulders today and maybe quads. My quads are really sore from the week for some reason. I know, I did a workout like 2 days ago and my legs are still sore. So yes, shoulders. We'll stick with like quads and hips and hamstrings because that's what everybody always needs. For such things, you might want to grab a couple blocks or something that's like a block that you can use. Oh, laptop, why? There. So something thick-ish. And just kind of set those off to the side. Comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in if you can. And deep breath out. Begin to settle in. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Become present in this moment. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Allergies. This is going to be a fun class. Oh my God, computer, why? Oh, it's going to be one of those kind of days, y'all. All right, let's take a deep breath in. Circle, sweep the arms all the way up. Palms can touch overhead. Eyes go up. And then exhale, just float the hands down. They can rest lightly on the floor. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, sweep it down. Yes, stupid tree sex. For reals. I mean, I know it's necessary, but damn. Inhale, up. Exhale, float it down. Really feel every inch of that movement. Let's inhale, take it all the way up. Palms are going to stop shoulder distance. Keep the eyes forward this time. Palms turn in, thumbs pull back towards the space behind you. As you exhale, take the elbows wide. Let the palms turn forward. Chest is lifting up. Shoulders are drawing down. Got cactus arms. Inhale, we reach back up. Palms face in. Stretch it up. Exhale, draw it down. Feel the shoulder blades as they slide down the back. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, drawing the elbows down to about halfway between shoulder height and all the way down. So we don't want to be all the way down here. We want to find that middle space. Inhale, reaching up. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, really pull the elbows back behind you as they draw down. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, float the hands down. Okay, wiggle it out a little bit. Loosey-goosey. And then inhale, let's take both arms up. Exhale, float the right hand down. Keeping the left hip planted into the floor, reaching up and across. Left arm stretching towards the right wall. The more you can keep your hip planted, the more you can really open up through the ribs. Nice deep breath. Chest is still open towards the front, so we don't want to be like rounding down. We want to keep everything open towards the front of the space. And then lead with the left arm. Let's draw it back up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand floats down. We start to tilt towards the left. Right hip stays planted, reaching up and across with the right arm. Left arm is soft. Stretching out the side body. Keep the right thumb pulling back in space, just like we did a second ago. Side body stretch. Lead with the right arm. We'll slowly come back up. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to inhale, reaching up. Interlace the fingers at the top. Turn your palms to face up. If this is uncomfortable on your wrists, you can keep the palms facing down and just try to press your palms together. Otherwise, turn the palms up, drawing the pinkies back in space. This time we're going to tilt towards the right. You can look to the left. Big stretch. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, bend both elbows and start to draw the hands down towards the right shoulder. Slowly bring it back up. Back to center. Woo. Reach to the left. Looking to the right. Pinkies are drawing back, or if your palms are facing down, thumbs are drawing back. You can take it a little bit deeper, bending both elbows. Hands come down towards the left shoulder. And slowly bring it back up. Back up to center. Lift the chest, eyes go up, hands go back. Oh, bring it back to center. And float the arms down. Shake it out, loosey-goosey. In. All right. Take the right arm, reach it all the way out to the side, palm facing up. We want to try to keep the arm straight as you draw it across the body. I want you to take your left arm and hook it below the elbow. So you're hooking forearm to forearm here. Drawing the right arm across, you're going to start to feel a stretch on the outside edge of your right shoulder. Right palm is still facing up. Shoulders are trying to melt away from the ears. If your arm's out front but you're still getting a good stretch, you're doing fine. Draw it in only as far as it feels good. Here we go. Words are hard. Need more coffee. Take the right fingers and then flex the hand down towards the floor. So now the palm is facing out away from you. And then slowly lift the hand up, fingers point up, palm is still facing the same direction. Flex it down. And up. It looks really kind of weird, but you know, it works. It's good. Down. Now this time I want you to rotate the right arm. Now the palm is facing away from you, fingers are up, and flex it down. Just this little bit of movement here helps you get into a deeper stretch in the shoulder. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Woo. As the shoulder softens, you might notice that the stretch starts to creep its way around to the back of the shoulder. All right, bend the right arm. Relax it down. You can roll the shoulders, wiggle it out. Left arm reaches out, palm facing up. Bring it across the body. Hook forearm to forearm. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Ooh, my left shoulder is much tighter than my right for some reason. Flex the fingers down so the palm is facing away from you. And then we bring it up. And down. Up. And down. Rotate. And down. Up. And down. Relax. Bend the elbow. Woo! Roll the shoulders. Ooh, loosey-goosey. You can grab a sip or something, just let your shoulders sort of exist and decide what they want to say. Man, you know something I really miss about teaching in person? I miss the banter. I miss the back and forth. I miss my sassy, snarky students. All right, I'm going to take the hands, interlace the fingers behind you, pull the fist towards the floor. I'm going to turn towards the side so you can see what's going on. Fist towards the floor, trying to straighten the arms out. If you can't get the arms straight, or hell, if you can't even get your fingers interlaced, you have options. You can grab a block, hold on to that. You can grab a strap. You can grab a towel, just whatever. Your palms can be open. Or you can try to squeeze the palms together for a deeper stretch. You're lifting up through the chest. Eyes can go up slightly. Work within where you are. So if your elbows are bent, but you've got your hands together, great. If your hands are open wide, but your arms are straight, great. Just finding that stretch, opening up through the chest. Now we're going to take it and get a little fun with it. We're going to attempt to float the hands up off the floor, keeping the chest lifted. So we're not bending forward to get the hands up. We're trying to move from the shoulders. This is a very active stretch. You're lifting up as high as you can. Holding there. And now try to relax in your shoulders a little bit, because I guarantee as you start to lift up, your shoulders are squeezing in and squeezing up. Try to melt them down. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Relax it down. Unwind the fingers. Shake it out. You might feel some sparklies in the fingers and the hands. That's okay. You can reach forward, move your arms, just move it around a little bit. Muppet flail. Let's do that again. Interlace the fingers behind you. Pull the fist down towards the floor. Arms are as straight as you can get them. I know for some people straight is really hard, so just do the best you can. Try squeezing the hands towards one another. Chest lifting up. It's okay if you can't get the hands towards one another. It's perfectly fine. And then just try to lift the hands as high as you can. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now tuck the chin into the chest and slowly start to round forward. Let the hands go up wherever they're going to. We're going to revisit something like this later. Rounding down as much as feels okay for you. You might notice that your hands have to separate. And slowly sit back up nice and tall. Release. Shake it out. Wiggle it out. Take a second. Maybe grab another sip of coffee. Tell me how much you love me for stretching out your shoulders. Because I know you do. Alright, we've got one more. I'm going to take that side body stretch just a little bit different. Alright, so take the right arm, stretch it all the way up, pull the shoulder down the back, bend at the elbow, and try to bring your fingers to your back. Now here, if in order to get the arm up, you have to tuck the chin down, I don't want your arm up quite so high. Just bring the elbow out a little bit. If you can, take the left hand, find your elbow point, get the hands behind the head. Again, if you have to tuck the chin down in order to do this, don't go quite so far. You can look over to the right, gently draw the right arm to the left, maybe tilt to the left. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Come back to the center. Release it down. Wiggle it up. Left arm, you reach up. Shoulder pulls away from the ear. Bend at the elbow, fingers to the back. Chin is staying up off the chest. Right hand looks for the left elbow. We try to get the arms back behind you. If your hands are in front and you're having to kind of hunch down, don't go quite so far, or grab a strap, loop it around your elbow. You can look to the left, start to tilt to the right, drawing the left elbow across towards the right. Nice deep breath in, deep breath out. Now, if your allergies are really bothering you today, like mine are, try not to sneeze while you are in a stretch. Get out of the stretch before you sneeze. Because you sneeze with such force, you can actually hurt yourself. Bring it back to center. Slowly release it down. Whew. Let's roll shoulders. Oh man. Alright. Let's bring the bottom of the feet together. I'm going to leave the shoulders alone for just a little bit. Rock back and forth so you can feel both sit bones down into the floor and get some of that squishy bit out from underneath if you need to. I know I do. Hands to the ankles. Inhale, lift up, arch the back, eyes go up. And then exhale, round. Start it from the pelvis all the way up through the spine until you can make a C shape by tucking the chin. Inhale, up. Exhale, round. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, round. Inhale, take it a little bit farther. You can draw the hands towards you using just a little bit of leverage. And then exhale like someone's pulling you backwards, round. Inhale, lengthen straight up in the center. And as you exhale, start to lean forward from the hips. Now, how far can you go keeping the spine straight? I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what's going on. So we're leaning forward, pausing wherever you need to. As soon as you feel yourself start to round, that's where you need to stop. You can walk the hands forward for a little bit of support, lengthening through the crown of the head. Now here, it doesn't matter if you are all the way down here or if you're up here and you're getting a good stretch. I want you to work within where you are. The best way to honor your body when you are doing anything physical is to work within where you can safely, where you are today, which might be different than other times. Sometimes your body is just like, nah, what we did yesterday is too much for today. If you want, you can find a very gentle slide side to side. You should feel a stretch kind of down in the lower back, just above the glutes. If it doesn't feel good to move, then just hold the stretch in the center. Hold the stretch in stillness. Alright, Come back to center. See if you can come forward a little bit more, maybe walking the hands out, maybe just leaning a little bit. We're going to walk both hands over to the left. As far as you can to the left, keeping the right hip down on the floor. As soon as you notice that hip start to lift up, that's where you want to pause. You can take this just a little bit farther by stacking the right hand on top of the left and leaning into the right shoulder just a tiny bit. And deep breath in. And deep breath out. Slowly walk it back towards center. And over to the right. Keeping the left hip down on the floor. Take it a little farther by stacking the left hand on top of the right. Maybe lean into the left shoulder a tiny bit. Slowly walk it back to center. Now I want you to round wherever you are. Melting down towards the floor. Maybe the top of the head is reaching for the feet. Maybe the nose is going for the toes. If you're here but you're getting a good stretch, then that is fantastic. Find your best stretch. Nice deep breaths. And we'll slowly come back up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Move around a little bit, experiment, see how it feels. Alright, we haven't done any twisting yet today, so let's get some twisting going on. I'm going to take the left hand behind, right hand across. Now if it's too much to get your hand all the way to the knee, then you can just bring your hand to the shin, or you can grab onto the calf inside the leg, because that's a little bit closer of a space to reach. Notice here, as you start to twist, is your body wanting to rock back? Try to keep the spine long. Looking over the left shoulder. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And slowly back to center. Let's take the right hand behind, left hand across. Into the twist, nice and gentle. Deep breath in, lengthen. Deep breath out, twist. And slowly unwind. Alright, let's take the legs up and together. Ooh, stretch them out long and give them a little shake, a little wiggle. Now this one might not work for you, but you can try it. So we're going to slide the weight over to the right side of the mat. You're going to lean to the right so you can bend your left leg and bring the top of the foot down. Knee is pointing forward. You can have space between the knees. If it feels okay, you can try to get your knees together. I find bringing the leg out a little bit more actually gets a better stretch on the hamstring. So find where you feel good. If this does not feel good on your leg, I would much rather you bring the foot to the inner thigh. It's going to be a much different stretch, but if the other way doesn't feel good, if it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Okay, so this is half hero pose. Whether your foot's on the inner thigh or your leg is here, I want you to lengthen up and just start to walk the hands forward. See if you can flex through your right foot. Now, if that is too intense, if that's too much, just relax the right foot, relax the right leg, and find where your stretch is. Notice as you come forward, are you squeezing the right leg? Can you relax it? Deep breath in. Deep breath out, trying to keep the spine long so we're not hunching into the stretch. We're lengthening and folding only as far as feels good. And if up here is where it feels like a good stretch and you can keep that straight spine, by all means, hang out there. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to walk the hands back. Come back onto the palms. Fingers pointing towards you. Soft elbows. Now same thing. If it does not feel good with the left leg in this position, very carefully come out of it and bring the bottom of the foot to the inner thigh. We're going to start to walk the hands back just a little bit, soften into the elbows, and think about letting the pelvis come back. So it's easy to just kind of back into it with the back and look how low I can go, but you're not actually getting the stretch. You want the pelvis to come back so that you feel that stretch on the top of the left quad. Nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly bring it back up. And then lean over to the right. Very carefully, slowly bring the left leg out. You can wiggle it out, shake out both legs, see how you feel. Okay? I'm going to bring the weight over to the left. We do this so that when your leg is bent like that, the top of the foot is still on your mat. It still has that little bit of cushion. So we can lean to the left, bend the right leg, top of the foot to the floor, half hero pose. If that's not good for you, just like on the other side, bottom of the foot to the inner thigh. So if you're sitting here in half hero and you're going, gosh, Jess, this is challenging and this is uncomfortable. I do not like this. Half hero pose is not meant to be easy. Come to think of it, a lot of poses in yoga are not meant to be easy. They are meant to challenge the body. They're meant to open the body. So, there you have it. If you did it on the other side, flex through the left foot. Find that engagement, see how it feels. We reach up and walk the hands forward, finding your stretch. Oh my goodness, my left side is so tight today, you guys. Lengthening through the spine and folding, not rounding. Okay? Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly start to walk the hands back. Fingers are pointing towards you as you start to lean into it. Walking the hands back as far as feels good for you. And starting to bring the pelvis back so we get that stretch on the right leg, on the right quad. This is one of my favorite stretches to do after like a really hard run. Not that I've done a hard run in a while. But it just feels really good on the quad. And deep breath in. Deep breath out. And let's slowly walk the hands back in. Bring it on back up. Lean to the left. Straighten out the right leg. And give a little rock side to side. And shake out the legs. Windshield wiper if that feels good. And then grab a drink of water or coffee or whatever it is you're drinking this morning. Swing the legs around and come up to a tabletop position. Alright, I'm sorry guys, my nose is dripping because allergies. Give me 2 seconds. Whew. Okay. Allergies, you suck. Okay, tabletop position. Palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Palms press into the floor, soft elbows, strong arms, pressing the floor away. Let's just do some hip circles here for a second. Bring the weight forward, to the right, back, left, around a couple of times. Take it nice and slow, working into the hip joint. Maybe your knees will go crunch like mine do. And slowly reverse it. Left, back, right, forward, around, slowly, and back to center. Pressing the floor away nice and strong. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the eyes, lift the sit bones. Make sure as you come forward here with the chest, you're not just locking your elbows. Everything stays strong. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Come back to a neutral position. Grab a block if you have it. We're going to use a block for one version of this, but you don't need a block. You can stick with a certain modification. But you're going to take that block and place it between your heels so that it's got the medium side up. By medium side, I mean it should be this way. You can squeeze it between your heels, but you don't really need to. Okay? So, option one, hands are going to come to the lower back. Palms should be right at the top of your glutes. Thumbs pointing out, fingers pointing down, elbows drawing back. This is another way to stretch the quads from kind of a different angle. So I want you to first find some movement in the pelvis. So you can stick the butt out and then draw it down. Just feeling that tilt. And then I want you to think about reaching the sit bones, reaching the tailbone down towards the floor. So you've got just a little bit of a tilt backwards. A good visual is if you imagine your pelvis like a pot. And if you stick the butt out, you tilt the pot forward. And if you draw the tailbone down, you tilt the pot back. Okay? So we want to tilt the pot back. We want to draw the tailbone down. Hands are right at the lower back. Start to lengthen up. So feel like someone's drawing up the front of your body, and then they've got to string out your chest, and they're lifting you up high. Eyes can go up, but the head's not collapsing back. We want to keep the neck strong. Hips press forward. As you start to lift up a little bit higher, this is a beginning modification for camel pose. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come back up. If you want, you can sit the hips back for a second. Just sit on your block if it's back there. Sit on your heels if it's not. Take a second. You might feel a little bit of a swirly sensation, or like a very energized, or even like bordering on anxiety sort of feeling. That's because your body's not used to going back in that range of motion. But it is very good for stretching the front side of the body, but also building strength within the body. So let's do it again. Up onto the knees, hands to the lower back, tilt the tailbone down, and we're going to stay in it a little bit longer. So this time I want you to think about taking smaller inhales and exhales. Not so that you're hyperventilating, but taking a full deep breath while you're back in that position can be a bit of a struggle. So we're going to take smaller breaths. Draw the tailbone down towards the floor. That's the start of it. That line draws up the body, lifting up through the heart. Eyes go up. If you've got the block behind you, you can take the right hand. See if you can find the block with the hand. If that's too much, bring it back to the lower back. Hips are drawing forward. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Pull up carefully. And take a deep breath here. We're going to pause for just a second. And then lift up. And do that left side. Lengthen. If you did on the other side, take the left hand. Try to find the block. Hips are pressing forward. Eyes are up. Smaller breaths. Bring it back up. Let's sit the hips down. Take a second. Let your body process. You can round. You can move. Notice the feeling, but don't dwell on it. And we'll come back up nice and slow. Ow. My knee just popped. Hands to the lower back. We're going to lengthen up. Hips press forward. Find your pose. If you want, you can take the left arm, sweep it up overhead. If you want to try adding the right hand coming down to the block, you can. Lengthening out from left fingertip all the way down the body. Lead with the left arm. Come back up. Let's do the other side. Lengthen, reset. Right arm sweeps up. Maybe the left hand comes down to the block. Hips are pushing forward, creating length. Lead with the right arm. Come back up. Sit it back. Notice the feeling. Don't dwell on it. From here, tuck the chin. Let yourself melt forward. Can you get your forehead towards the knees? Hands can reach back for the heels. Just hang out here. This is the counter posture, or it's the start of the counter posture, I should say. It's a camel. And deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, let's round it up. Move that block out of the way. Whew. All right. How do we feel? Take a second, move around. You might notice your lower back is got some words to say to you. They might not be nice words, but just take a second, take a breath, take a drink of whatever you're drinking. I know my back is grumpy, but camel is excellent for building strength. All right. Let's revisit the shoulders. A little shoulder stretch and strengthen. Come to your tabletop position. Now, if you've done downward dog before, I want you to find your downward dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Creating length. Chest is reaching towards the thighs, but not collapsing. You can walk the dog just to sort of open up the backs of the legs a little bit before we get a little bit deeper here. We're going to do one more posture that's a little bit of a challenge, and then we're going to keep it light and fluffy the rest of the time. Okay, slowly lower the knees back down. So much like downward dog, dolphin pose is an excellent way to stretch the hamstrings, but it also stretches and strengthens the shoulders. So from your tabletop position, I want you to put, I never think about how tight my quads are until now. Yeah, funny that. You're welcome, I guess. All right, from tabletop, you're going to take your elbows and plant them down right where your palms were. Now you have options here. You can press the palms down into the floor. You can make fists and be a little fighter pilot here, or you can interlace the fingers and have kind of a triangle situation going on in the arms. My preference is palms flat down, but not everybody's wrists like this, so work within where you are. From here we are going to tuck the toes. Press down through the palms, press through the elbows, and feel your chest lift away from the floor. So if as you're setting up here, you notice that you're just kind of hunched down into the shoulders, we're going to engage everything. Press the floor away. Lift the hips up and step the feet in about half of one of your feet. Palms push down into the floor. You'll notice you might feel like your elbows are trying to slide somewhere, but keep them engaged. Press them down. You can soften the knees to lift the hips higher, just like we do in downward dog. You don't have to have straight legs here. Sit bones are reaching up for the sky. Neck is long. Your head might be grazing the floor, but you don't want it resting down on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Bend the knees. Come on down. And you can just sit the hips back into child's pose. Leave the hands right where they are. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you want to try a different hand position for this next one, you can. Palms pressing down, fighter pilot, interlace the fingers, whichever one. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, step the feet in just a little bit. You don't have to straighten the legs entirely. If your fingers are interlaced, you want to press the fist down into the floor. Just like you were pressing your palms down before, press the fist down. This helps engage. Deep breath in. Chest is still pressing back towards the thighs, just like in downward dog. You're just a little bit closer. Neck is long. If you want, you can walk the dolphin, but you're not going to be able to go quite as far bending the knees as you do in downward dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly lower the knees down to the floor. Untuck the toes, sit the hips back. Child's pose. You can leave the hands right where they are, wherever you have them. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right. You can walk it back in, sit back up. Woo, roll the shoulders. Feels good. I think it feels good. All right. We're gonna bring it down a little bit. Do just some comfy stretches. And try, well, they might be comfy stretches. They're going to be much more low-key though. Walk your hands forward, finding your tabletop position again. And then step your hands forward just a little bit so you can slide your right knee up to your right wrist. Heel comes underneath the left hip, and then you can tuck the left toes and inchworm your way back into a pigeon pose. Now here you want your hips level, you want your hips even. If you notice you're starting to collapse towards the right, you can take a block, slide it under the hip. If you need some support, if you need to be up a little bit higher, you can rotate the block so that you're up a little bit higher and you're not just melting down into a stretch that is too intense for you today. Okay? From here, if you want, you can come down to the elbows. If it's too much to come down to the elbows, grab your blocks. You can come down onto the elbows on the blocks, or you're welcome to stay up on the palms if that feels better for you. If you are down on your elbows though, I want you to keep pressing the floor away so you're not just collapsing into the shoulders. So it's just a light engagement here. It's not a lot, but it's enough that it helps you keep the proper shape and it builds a little bit of strength since you're engaging, since you're pressing. And deep breath in. Deep breath out. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you want, you can try tucking the back toes. Maybe lift the knee off the floor. If that's too much, keep the knee down, or maybe lift and lower so you get a little bit and relax it. A little little bit and relax it. It's totally up to you. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, focusing on keeping the right leg soft. A lot of times we're in this stretch and gravity is drawing down on us and our right hip is like, hey, hi, wow, okay. And so you unconsciously squeeze that leg to try and back out of the stretch a little bit. Can you relax it? Let's bring the left knee back down, untuck the toes. This one's for you, Crow Girl. Checking in with that quad. Let's pull the heel up towards the glute. You don't have to reach back for it. You don't have to try and yank on it or anything. Just drawing the heel up will get you a good quad stretch. But be aware, the tighter you squeeze in, the closer you can get to causing a bit of a cramp in the hamstring. So just draw it in until you feel a good stretch. Nothing too extreme here. Deep breath in. Maybe you point and flex the foot, changing up the stretch just a little bit. And then we'll slowly bring it down. You can land on the toes first and then untuck. Finding another twist, take the left hand, rotate the fingers over so they're pointing vaguely towards your right knee. Right hand comes up to the thigh and find a twist through the waist, looking over your right shoulder. Now here, notice, as you're trying to twist, is your body trying to lean one direction or the other? Try to keep it centered, balanced. Now that same kind of oh my God, squeezing in the right leg that we were checking in with before. See if you've got that going on and try to relax it. Softening into a pose is sometimes the most challenging part. Let's bring the right hand back down to the floor. Press into it to lift up to the palms. We're going to come into a proud pigeon. Lengthening up, you can come up to the fingertips if that feels okay. And just like before, we're trying to tilt the bucket up so that we can really get a good stretch on the front of the left hip. Slowly let the weight sit over to the right hip so that you can bring the left leg around. Very slowly, very carefully, lean as far as you need to. Right heel comes up to the left hip. Left heel, you can bring it to the inside edge of the knee, the top of the knee, or the outside edge. Just depends on you. If you can get your leg to the outside edge of the knee, but your foot's floating off the floor, you have a couple options. You can grab a block to try and close the gap so you have some support there, or just bring it to the top. There's nothing saying you have to bring it to the outside edge. Left hand plants behind you like a kickstand. Right arm stretches up, create length. We start the twist with the strength and then get a little bit of leverage by bringing the elbow to the knee. Looking over the left shoulder, let that twist start at the base of the spine and go all the way up to the skull. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Breathing into the twist. It's like wringing out the spine. Check in with your right leg. Are you holding tension? Try to relax it. One more breath here. Slowly unwind. We're going to take the left leg, bring it back, come back up to your knees, reset for second side. So find your tabletop position, step the hands forward a little bit, left knee slides up to the left wrist, heel underneath the right hip, tuck the toes and inchworm your way back. Settling down into your pigeon pose, on the palms, on the blocks, on the floor on your elbows, whatever feels good. Try to match what you did on the other side though. Even if it feels different, even if it feels like you could go farther on this side than the other side, try to match what you did on the other side. Because when you are working on these stretches, if you have an imbalance, we want to start to bring the lower or the less flexible side up to meet the more flexible side before we start creating more progress on both sides. If that makes sense. Nice deep breath in. You can tuck the back toes. Maybe lift the knee. Maybe you've got that lift and lower dynamic stretch going on. Checking in with the left leg this time. Make sure you're not squeezing the muscles. You're relaxing into it. And deep breath in. And deep breath out. Relax the leg down and try to bend the right knee. Draw the heel up towards the glute, stretching through the quad. You can point and flex to change the stretch. Make sure you don't squeeze it in too tight. You don't want to cause cramp. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And bring the foot back down. Take the right fingers, point them vaguely towards your left knee. Left hand to the thigh. We look over the left shoulder. Find the twist from the waist. Make sure you're not leaning. And deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly back to center. Press into the left palm. Right palm, we lift up. Proud pigeon. Maybe you come up to the fingertips. And slowly lean over to the left. Bring the right leg around. Adjust so the left heel is at the right hip. Right heel is at the inside, top of, outside. Depends on you. Right hand comes behind like a kickstand. Left arm stretches up. We start the twist with strength. Elbow to the knee. Take it a little deeper, looking over the right. Relaxing the left leg. Lengthening up, twisting more, finding your breath. Let's take one more deep breath here. Slowly unwind, and you can just come to a comfortable seated position. Sitting cross-legged, whatever feels good. If you want to work on half lotus, you can take one foot, stack it up high on the thigh. Just allowing yourself to sit, lengthen through the spine. Taking a few breaths, trying to be completely present in this moment, letting your body just relax for a second. Now, whether you're sitting just in a comfortable seat, cross-legged, one leg on top, or trying for half lotus, we're going to switch sides. So whichever one was on top or in front, we're going to switch it out. Hands can rest lightly on the floor or on your thighs. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Oh, honestly, my computer chooses now to shut down. That's cool. All right. I'm just going to come into a comfortable seated position, finishing out with a few breaths. So just whatever a comfortable seated position is for you. Good Lord, are you serious? I hate technology. So much. So much I hate technology. Good grief. Hands can rest lightly on the knees, sitting up nice and tall. Draw the shoulders down the back, lengthen through the crown of the head. You're welcome to close your eyes. And just try to bring your focus entirely inward. Taking a moment of quiet. Taking this moment to just exist. Now all together, we want to take a few breaths. Inhale through the nose if you can. Exhale from the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms all the way up. Let the palms touch overhead. Exhale as you draw the hands down with strength to your heart. Bow the head. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been my pleasure to guide you. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Man, technology, it's the best. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed today's class, and yes, we often don't think about how tight our quads are until we ask them to stretch. If you did enjoy today's class, one of the best ways that you can support me is by sharing my channel, sharing my Facebook page, spreading the word. Invite your friends before it is 15 minutes before class. Let them have time to plan for it. I'm going to try to make sure that I create the events for the classes several days in advance so that you can poke your friends and be like, hey, do yoga with me. This person is great. They challenge everything that you thought you could do. Thanks for a great class. My shoulders feel weird, but in a good way. Yeah, fashion theory. I hear that. The range of motion that I had before, well, in the before times, is definitely gone. So stretching my arms like that, my shoulders like that, it feels a little strange. But got to get that range of motion back for getting back to Lyra eventually, whenever that's going to happen. If you really, really, really enjoyed today's class, there's a couple other ways you can support me, either by using my virtual tip jar, which is a PayPal link. You can become a patron on my Patreon. It allows me to do these classes. It allows me to create exclusive content for you guys. I have a video that's on deck being edited right now. Finally got it recorded in nap times with my wee one. Sometimes she's quiet during the day. Or I have my Amazon wish list with a couple of things in there that, just spoil me a little bit. Show your appreciation through books. If you have any questions about anything that we did today, if you notice something that you have a specific inquiry about, you can message me here on Twitch. You can message me on my Facebook page. You can message me on my Instagram. You can message me on my Patreon. Crow Girl, thank you, Jess. You were so welcome, Crow Girl. Thank you for joining me. I love you. I miss you. If you really have any questions about any yoga postures ever, just send me a message. I will do my best to answer your questions. I always want you to yoga safe. I think that's just about it. I try to have these classes every Saturday, but sometimes life gets in the way. I'm more likely to drop one of my crafting streams than I am this stream, which has happened the last couple of weeks. But if you're interested in hanging out and watching me work on stock for my Etsy shop, I tried to do a crafty stream on Sundays. Wednesdays are kind of out right now because I have a ongoing private session with a yoga student. So that is also an option if you're local. I am doing socially distanced private sessions with either regular yoga or aerial yoga. I have a portable aerial rig. I also do virtual sessions that we can do through streaming thingies. If you're interested in that, send me a message on one of those things. Other than that, just share. Share the Facebook, share the Instagram, share the Twitch channel, share videos that you liked. Just share, 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 share. All right, I think I've rambled enough now. So, yeah, if you have any questions, send me a message. If you're interested in a private session, send me a message. If you want to spoil me or support me, click on one of the links in my About Me section on here or in my event page on Facebook. Yeah. Thank you for joining me, guys. I will see you next week. Have a good one.